Hi, for, I'm Jason Freeman. First, I want to say my heart goes out to Houston. I'm originally from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, but what you're hearing is not a Midwestern accent. Nope. It's what's called a speech impediment. At least I used to think so. The technical name for my condition is cerebral palsy, which means when I was born, my umbilical cord became kinked like a garden hose, which makes it challenging for me to say my umbilical cord became kinked like a garden hose. Today I want to talk with you about how we all have the power to do our imperfect best. Do our imperfect best? What, Jason? That sounds like a tongue twister, especially coming out of my mouth. And especially because so much within us and around us seeks perfection, right? We want the perfect bodies, the perfect amount of money in our bank accounts, the perfect weather, the perfect health, the perfect relationships. And plus, if you're anything like me, you want the perfection of living an extremely long and vigorous life. Like to 220 or 330, I don't know. A long life. This is a lot to ask of ourselves and ask of our lives. I know I started going to the school of imperfection very early on. but my folks started me out right. They said, hey, Jason, you are the best. And as a little kid, who was I to disagree with that assessment? My favorite toy was actually shoestrings. I would run around all afternoon pretending what I would be. One day I was going to be a carpenter like my grandpa Francis. One day the most successful businessman in the world. I haven't quite gotten to the most successful businessman in the world yet. But when I was 8, another voice started talking to me, my perfectionistic voice. You know that voice? We all do. And unfortunately, my perfectionistic voice has never had a speech impediment. I've always understood it crystal clear. And it started saying things like, hey, you're not as good as the other kids at that. Hey, if you do that, you'll probably fail, so don't do that. Hey, why did you make that mistake? You should feel ashamed and beat yourself up for that mistake. We've all heard this voice, right? Yeah. And as the years went on, guess what? I listened to it more and more and more until at age 12, I lost complete sight of my beauty and potential. I was no longer the best. To me, I was the worst. And I isolated myself because I thought no one else heard the perfectionistic voice. I thought I was the only one. Little did I know that that kids all around me were going through the same thing, and adults too. But I thought I was the only one. In the isolation, I did the only thing I knew how to do. I attempted to take my own life. But luckily, another voice said, "Hey, Jason, kiddo, I know you're stressed out. I know you're making yourself completely miserable, but this is not the way. This is not, you're not seeing all of you. You're just seeing a fraction of who you are." And even though I didn't have the words for it at the time, the concept of imperfect best was born within me. Doing our imperfect best means we give ourselves the freedom to go for our goals and dreams, even though we know there will probably be many mistakes, many uncertainties, and many frustrations along the way. We do this because it's a courageous act. And because the perfectionistic voice can really stifle what we want to do in life. And face it, we want to be free. We want to be free to create what we want. About 10 years ago, I was thinking about what I wanted to do in life. And I'm like, of all the careers I could choose, of all the careers, I know I want to be a professional speaker. Thank you very much. And the perfectionist voice within me was like, "What? Will anyone even understand you? That's crazy." Yes, and let me tell you, it's been a twisty, curvy, windy road over the last 10 years, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I've learned three, I'm just laughing at how I make three. I've learned three things along the way that I can apply to us all as we go forth on our imperfect best journeys. Number one, we have the opportunity to listen for the perfectionistic voice when it comes up within us. And this is a challenge because it's not going to say, "Hey, I'm the perfectionistic voice." It's just going to sound like fact, isn't it? Like, you can't do that. Why did you make that mistake? Don't even think of doing that. So just notice this voice. Number two, we have the opportunity to love this voice. What? Love this voice that makes us miserable? Yes, love it, because this voice is part of us. And it wants what's best for us, even if it has a very small vision of who we are and who we could be. But another more important reason to love it is because if we love it, if we don't love it, we go to war with it. And those wars ain't pretty. They just ain't pretty. So, number three, once we've loved this, once we've noticed this voice and loved it, we then have a choice. We can keep doing what the perfectionistic voice says to do or not do, or we can go for step by step and do our imperfect best. So we end where we began. I still have a challenging time saying my umbilical cord became king like a garden hose. And I'm still doing my imperfect best as often as I have the courage to. So my question to you, what's one area of your life that you really want freedom in, but you're letting the perfectionistic voice prevent you from moving forward? What's one area of your life? And after you got that, please think of one small step you can do to move forward in that area. Now, it doesn't have to be a huge step because that's scary and kind of painful. But just think of the next small step. Because one small step after another gives us momentum. I ask you this because at the end of the day, we do our imperfect best, not only for ourselves and not only for the people around us, but for future generations. So with that, we have one more thing. My folks will wait. I am the best me, and you are the best you. We are each unique, and we're our own best. So will you please all stand up? Raise your right hand. Raise your right pointer finger. Say, I love you, pointer finger. I love you, pointer finger. Point at yourself and say, I am the best. 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 Now sit down. Thank you so much for your attention. Your story is very important. Thanks for your courtesy in listening to mine. Go forth and do your imperfect best.